would not have to feel the entire world sees how desperate you are to get rid of anything that is not straight and white. And it's not because you are strong, it's because you are weak. Extremely weak. Like I said in a video before, without minorities, this country would be the weakest it has ever been. Y'all will not win this race.
I'm so tired of when a creator comes out and says some racist shit and they come out with some shitty apology video. All the people in the comment section, they're saying, we forgive you, they're all white. You don't speak for us. Why are you trying to speak for us, bro? No, you may forgive Timmy. You may forgive him for saying some stuff that does not affect you, Timmy, but we don't forgive him. No. I hate when they're like, oh, it's just a word. No, words have meaning. I can't go up to you and say, I'm a fucking unalive you. Why? Because words have meaning, right? So stop being disingenuous, trying to just brush things off by saying, oh, words have no meaning. You're being too sensitive. No. We're just tired of putting up with bullshit. We're going to call you out on it, and we're going to hold you accountable for your actions. Simple as that.
The problem with white liberals when it comes to the Black community is that they don't even realize that they're doing more harm than good. And I firmly and wholeheartedly know to be true that for most of them, it's coming from a loving, compassionate, kind-hearted place, but it's still objectively causing harm. The white liberal sees the Black community as a community that needs to be safe. We need to add further protections for the Black community. We need to rewrite laws for the Black community. We need to hand out government assistance, to keep helping the Black community. When all that's doing is keeping them in a self-destructive cycle. Rely on handouts, rely on the government, rely on external help. And I'm sorry, but this is a form of bigotry. It's not your intention, but it's backhanded and it's there. You can't succeed without my help. That's racism. Not one of the messages in the liberal policy for the Black community is, you are great on your own, you just need to see it. And that's what conservatives have been trying to say for years and years. You don't need liberals in office or an immense amount of government assistance to be great. You are great. Just get out of your own way. Get out of the influence that makes you feel like you don't have a place in this world outside of your community, outside of drinking or drugs or music. And if this wasn't the truth, then why do we have Black doctors, Black scientists, Black authors, Black surgeons, Black engineers, Black professors, Black teachers? Hell, we had a Black president who wouldn't have been elected without the white vote. The only thing stopping the Black community from being the best it can possibly be is liberal ideology. Instead of passing out standards to the Black community, all you do is pass out sympathy. And you excuse destructive choices just so they don't feel excluded from your love. And again, I know it's coming from a good place, but that's not allyship. I know that the Black community has an incredibly dark past, but so do most cultures and races. The Jewish community survived a genocide and rebuilt their entire country with some of the smartest people on the planet. The Asian community were thrown in internment camps, millions of them. And they rebuilt, and again, now they're dominating most of our professional world and our universities. There is no reason that the Black community cannot do the same. The only thing stopping them is you, the white liberal, convincing them that without your assistance, they can't rebuild like those other communities did. You convince them every single day that they are too weak, too broken, and too damaged and traumatized to do anything on their own. And you don't think that's a form of holding?
Because it was the white man, when they arrived here in the Americas, that slaughtered over 13 million natives. It was the white man that raped their women and daughters. It was the white man that destroyed their culture. It was the white man that took their language. It was the white man that devastated the beauty of what was here prior. And standing on the words of Archbishop Desmond Tutu, when the missionaries came to Africa, they had the Bible and we had the land. They said, let us pray. We closed our eyes, and when we opened them, we had the Bible and the white man had the land. See, it was the white man that went over to Africa and slaughtered millions, enslaved millions, destroyed their culture, their language, and the beauty that was there prior to us. Because see, I recall it was the white man who enslaved our Black brothers and sisters once they took them from Africa here to the Americas. And for over 400 years, it's been the white man that has continue to enslave our black brothers and sisters. In fact, when they were prospering like Black Wall Street, it was the invasion of the white man that destroyed that city. It was the invasion of the white man onto the island of Puerto Rico that devastated the people that lived there. It was the white man that stepped foot into the islands and the nations of Haiti that once again devastated and left it to die. Because the reality is this: everywhere the white man has invaded, everywhere the white man has placed his foot, he has left it.
And you're the last people in the world to tell anyone else on earth about logic, reason, and sense. Your Western, so-called Enlightenment civilization is a monstrosity in human history. Or you've committed genocide after genocide, and you're committing one right now in Gaza. Your logical, rational, reasonable European powers obliterated the Native Americans. You systematically dehumanized and enslaved Africans for centuries. You carried out population extermination in Namibia, in Congo, in Algeria, and on your own continent against the Jews, the Holocaust, the Gypsies, the Muslims in Bosnia, on and on. You can't talk about rationality and reason. You must be joking. You can only say that if you live inside of your own Western propaganda echo chamber. It's an absurd thing. It's just as absurd as calling yourselves democracies. You created societies that sacralize wealth, that sanctify the rich, giving them near holy authority. You didn't abandon the papal tyranny. You just shifted it into the morality-free private sector. It makes sense to you, in your enlightened logic and reason, that sick people in your societies, for example, can suffer and die if they're poor, and that every human interaction and every human endeavor should be monetized in order for it to have any value, and whatever can be monetized should therefore be socially acceptable and respectable, no matter how...
Welcome back, my people. Where are you from? That was Shahid Bolsen, and I like to go through or to follow up the speeches of Shahid Bolsen because he's doing great work. He's doing great work. Shahid Bolsen is not a black person. He's not an African. But he advocates more to the blacks. He speaks positivity. He spread positivity. He fights against the racism. He fights against the white supremacists, the white system for oppressing the blacks people for so long. He have asked for the blacks unity and all this, because I always speak about the unity because the people who started to speak about this unity, it is not because they never knew what it might bring out. It is because they never knew the impact from it outcomes. They believed in the unity. That's why they started to advocate this many years ago. Even after some of them being assassinated and being destroyed, there are still some who came out and continue pushing the agenda of unity of the black people across the globe. And now, as I always say, that let's be aware. The blacks has to be aware of all that is happening, because there is nothing new here. There is nothing new here. All that is happening today is a trap. This is a trap. They need you in hand to fight their problems. But after their problems, what will happen? The journey will continue, and everything will come to the center. Everything will start to happen as how it has been happening many years ago. Because I don't believe if the people can be changed, and people or someone can change his or her behavior just in a day. It doesn't work like that. So this is just awakening for all these black people who are...
Never in a million years would I ever think that the NAACP would actually endorse a white woman. That is what they have done today. The NAACP is endorsing Abigail Spanberger, the woman running against the black woman Winston Sears out of Virginia. First off, you had Obama chastising black men for not voting for Kamala Harris. Then now you have Obama going against a black woman because she has an R by her name, because she's a conservative with common sense thinking. That now we have the NAACP not even backing a black woman and going for the white woman. Do you see how we've made race such a pivotal key thing for so long? And all we do is talk about the color of their skin, not the content of their character. And even Malcolm X said the white liberal is the one you need to be warned about. But now you're even going against Malcolm X about the white liberal and endorsing a white woman out of Virginia who couldn't even denounce Jay Jones and the awful things that he was texting, and asking, why do I have to comment on something where text happened years ago? Oh my gosh, this is the part of
of politics that I hate, and I hate the endorsement stuff, but it's become such a thing now that now we have black organizations and black past president endorsing a white woman because she's a Democrat.
Falling to this trap, feeling like you have you need to have an empathy to these people because of what they are coming to speak out today. It is a trap. This is a trap. And if you fall in it, you will end regretting. You will end up regretting, and your problem will never come to an end until you die. And you will just die and leave the problem on the top of a grave, because you are made, and they believe that you are made to face problems. They believe that a black person was made to face the problems. All the problems was made for the black people, but not other people. That's how they believe. So there is a day I did a video of the black privilege when the white were panicking to see the black privilege. There were some people, even the black people themselves, some of them, they never believed in the black privilege until the time it has come to be influenced. It has come to be influenced in many people, and we experienced how people are admiring the blackness, how people are fearing the black power, how people in different countries are looking towards the black and feel like, wow, they need, or they would love to be like the black people. So there is a lot that is happening or going on in this continent today that people, or some of the people, they don't know about it. Now, the Shahid Bolsen, all that he's come always to speak about is just to push up the agenda of the Kwame Nkrumah, of Malcolm X, and Martin Luther, because that was the agenda. Even after their assassination, their living words are still echoing to the blacks' ears, to the black minds.
Malcolm X warned about white liberals long before the modern political era. Take a look at this clip.
There are many whites who are trying to solve the problem, but you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox. And a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to. But the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say Malcolm X was well ahead of his time. He was saying this in the 60s, and keep in mind, he'd said this both before and after being a part of the Nation of Islam. I mean, say what you want about Malcolm X, there's no doubt that he is one of the most misunderstood historical figures ever. But one thing you cannot misunderstand is the fact that Malcolm X made it clear he was warning about white liberals.
And if you really believe in the unity, you really believe in the history of Africa, in the black people, you don't have to forget the words, or the living words of Kwame Nkrumah, of Martin Luther, of Patrice Lumumba, because they had one agenda, and that agenda was the unity of Africa. And that's what some and many of Pan-Africans are pushing, to make sure that by 2063, all this has to be done, has to be happen, and we are here to push it too. So, if you are today, you are still believing that, you as a black person, you need to have empathy towards all that is happening today, towards the black people, to the white Americans, then you need to think twice, because you have been the target of every time. You have been the target of every time. That's why you see, even today, despite having some white who are coming out speak the truth, and maybe some of them genuinely they're feeling guilty, but majority of them, they never feel the same. They don't. And some of them even feel so pissed off towards other whites who are coming out speak the truth, and maybe need an empathy or need hands of black people to join them to fight all these problems. There are many whites today who are still practicing racism. There are many today who don't want to associate with the blacks in the community or any other place. So this is something that cannot just end up in a single day or in a single year, because this is something that was created many years ago, long time ago, and the generation over generation passed through the same system, passed through the same way. So you can't just tell me that by changing from an evil person to a righteous person, It's something that can be done in a single day. It is possible for the black people to start to think again of going back to the history, following the footsteps of their ancestors, and maybe as we see them, most of them coming back to Africa. That's impossible because that's a positivity. That's positivity, and it is a history that's pushing them. It is a prophecy that's pushing them, and that is who they are. That's their origin. So whatever they are doing today, they are doing their origin, which belongs to them, which defines them. So today, why do the whites panics over the black unity, over the black? Because they played a major role during the time of slavery to make sure that the blacks in Africa and the blacks in diaspora, they will never come to unite. And they feared this because they believed in the stronger challenge of the black unity. They believed in the stronger challenge of the black unity. Because, let me today give an example. When today you go in the weapon manufacturers' farms, many of them, they are being operated by the black people. When you go to the music industry, it is played and controlled by the black people. When you go to the great businesses, footballs, talents, and culture, it is being controlled by the black people in the country of America. So, this, if today we wake up in the morning and find all the black community has relocated to Africa and left America, then that's when we will define how America is and what was the pillar, or who was the pillar of this great country. Because if it will continue being stronger, being superior as how it is today, then automatically we come to know that they are the one who built this and they are able to manage it despite the living or the departure of the black people. But if they will fall, then automatically it will define that the blacks have been the pillar, have been the founder and the preserver of this great country. And I believe so. Even before this happens, we believe that the blacks are the founder and the pillar of this great country. Today, why do they fear? They fear because of power shifting. They fear because of losing control. They were made to believe that they are the superior and they have to control everybody. Nobody need to be over them. They believe that blacks were made to be inferior and they need to obey and respect whatever they are being asked to. That's why today they fear the black unity. So, why do I started by the clips of Shahid Bolsen? Because Shahid Bolsen has been warning the blacks for so long. Be aware of these people. They are not having the best agenda for you. They don't have the best interest for you. They're just there to convince you to fall into the trap so that they can use you to solve their own problem. After that, the game continues, because this is just a mind game to challenge you so that you can fall into their trap. But after this, that's when you come to realize who they are. They have never changed. They are the same people changing clothes, evolving from one process to another to convince you to feel like and pretend like they have changed. They are different people. But this is something that is impossible. It is impossible. I told you that despite these few coming out speak all this, the majority of them, they still practice racism. They still practice discrimination. They still practice oppression. So, it's upon you to make your best decision. Because let me tell you something. Today, as a black person, whatever decision you are making, it will cost not only you, but it will cost the entire generation of your lineage. Whatever the decision that you are making today, it will not only consume you, but the entire generation of, like for example today, the people who are living in America, the people who are facing, the white America who are facing all these calamities, all these problems, they are not the one who enslaved Africans. They are not the one who oppressed Africans. They are not the one. But why? Ones. But why are they facing this? Because of their forefathers. Because kwa nini? We acha bwana. Unajua sasa washanichanganya. Because they are facing this because a curse will follow you even in 100 years to come. Will follow your generation, your lineage, even in 1,000 years to come. You might do something towards somebody today and feel like you're just okay until your lifetime. But don't forget that you have your lineage and they will have to face the challenges and the consequences of all that you are causing to other people today. So, it is always said that just do good. Just do good and good will follow you. And even still, if you do bad, then it will still follow you, and not only you, but your entire generation. So, I support all the words of Shahid Bolsen, and he's doing good things, great job by awakening the black people. This is not, there are many people, the white Americans, who are doing great jobs by awakening the black people, by supporting the black people, and going against the evil deeds that's being done by their fellow whites. Because these are the people, the few of them who have come to realize the truth, who have come to realize the truth, and they are working towards this truth. They are learning and forcing themselves to overcome and to repent for all the system lied to them and what they have been living, practicing to other people, which is not for humanity. So, I am talking always the black people origin from. Just tell us what you feel in the comment section, because these are interesting topics. I like following the history because the history guides us. All today that we are talking about is about the history, because without the history, without the truth behind the history of the blacks, then maybe we would have not been coming here to speak all that we are speaking. When we were not there, when the Africans were enslaved, but we know what happened. We reflect the clear picture of all that happened. And we might not be there when the blacks will unite, but the coming generation will salute us for the great job that we are doing today. Because if they will come to manage the unity of the blacks, all will happen because of what we are advocating and championing today. So the seed that we are planting today will have to bear fruits. And the fruits, we are not the people or the one who will enjoy it, but our generation, our lineage are the one who will come to enjoy it. So let's keep on pushing this agenda. Let's keep on avoiding the oppressors who are not there for our own good, but just to make sure that we fall. And our entire generation will never regret all that we are making today. I will not take much of a time. Let's meet on the comment section. Let's meet on the next episode. Just consider subscribing, sharing, commenting, and leaving a comment. And don't forget to come back as we do this each and every time, each and every day, at the same time, at the same place. Kenny Sora here, and be blessed reaching from. I love and appreciate support for you being here always.